I once asked someone, but I won't reveal who, what's the point of the monastic way of life? And his answer was, humility. We've met many people of deep spiritual maturity who had no idea how far they had come. Luckily, because that kept them humble, they couldn't even imagine they'd reached some spiritual height. Meanwhile, they were experiencing things, saying things that seemed to them completely normal, nothing special. But for us, they were revelations. People like that live in great numbers on Mount Athos. They don't want to be heard, they don't want to be seen, and most of all, they don't want followers. That's why today many people, without naming anyone, fall into a serious error when they say things like, "This enlightened man here, that enlightened man there." But I say this, we who live here on Mount Athos don't even know who's enlightened. So how can you, who live in the world, know? The truly enlightened ones here have no name, because they don't seek followers. They don't try to be seen or heard, and we've met many like them. We've learned a lot from them. Their main characteristic? Humility. They only spoke when you asked them to, and even then, they gave you just a few words, with deep respect, modesty, without trying to teach, without promoting themselves, without wanting to be heard. And this, it left a deep impression. Their humility, their simplicity, their purity of heart. The Church Fathers say, it's not enough to have virtue or deep prayer or a burning spiritual zeal. All of these must be joined with simplicity and humility. And today, it's not easy to find such people. That's why I personally thank God for the ones I've met, who never thought of themselves as special. They truly believed they were the least of all. They lived that thought, not as a performance or false piety. Because when someone wants followers, they have no humility. What they have is ego, and they try to impose it on as many people as possible. Now pay attention to this. Those who scold the Church, who react against the policies taken during the COVID-19 pandemic by both the state and the Church, they write long, drawn-out texts. Why? I think there's a psychological reason behind it. They're unsure of themselves, so they hide their uncertainty behind a flood of words. They keep repeating themselves, trying to convince us. But a normal person, if they have something to say, will say it briefly. Let those who want to follow, follow. Let those who want to believe, believe. Just look at our creed, how short it is, yet it carries the entire structure of our faith. But when you're selfish, you want an audience. You want people to follow you. And that's how we see random people being promoted as saints. This father is a university professor. He's a saint. Really? Just because he's a professor? Does that mean he's a man of God? A man of the Church? How can you say things like that? We need to be very careful. Sadly, we're living in a time of a pandemic of craziness. At least, it shows us who, in the Church, still carries a sense of seriousness, even here, on the Holy Mountain.